What's going on, everybody? I'd like to share with y'all something kind of twisted that's going on in this world. Commanded in the Bible in Ephesians 5, 8 through 19, that for you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. For the fruit of light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, and find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. This is why it is said, "Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit. Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. So the other day, my nephew and I were talking about an older conspiracy about child rape. It was called Pizzagate. Child sex trafficking among the elites and the somebodies. And we were talking about it, like, man, you know what? A lot of that stuff that we were searching is kind of, a lot of it's on point. A lot of it is true. Now, Pizzagate, I'm not certain that it's actually 100% true, but so we do need to, and that's what I want to share with you on this, is we've got now coming knowing that Christ is real and learning what he's been teaching and learning how to research these things, is that you need to double check your sources instead of just spewing things out. Like Pizzagate, you'd have to really prove that to be actually true instead of just a conspiracy. Now, the things that are true and what happened because of Pizzagate coming out is that people started being more alert to what Pizzagate was all about, which is child sex trafficking and satanic rituals being performed on these children in the elites. And guess what? Some of it is actually very true, and that's what we're about to watch. He brought up and said there's a guy that was on the Shawn Ryan podcast that has been hacking and exposing these people in these rings, child sex trafficking rings. And it's even darker than what you'd think. So what we're going to do, and it's probably going to be like a two-parter, I don't know, because apparently Shawn Ryan's podcasts are like 5 and 6 hours long. I do believe that this is one of the more important videos that people are going to need to watch, especially if you have kids. And like it says up here in Ephesians 5, is that right here, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. So here's another thing, is this, that nothing... In Luke 8:17, for there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. This is saying, this goes for everyone. This went for me, this went for everybody. That's what God has called every single one of us to repent, is we need to repent of all the things that are not good, that are of darkness, and repent and cry out to God. And He will forgive us and teach us and guide us. We're willing to walk away from a lot of these things, from the darkness, and into the marvelous light. It says, wake up. Because guess what? It's going to be known either now or later what we have done in secret. So it is okay to be honest with God. He wants to forgive us. He wants to guide us out of this, but he also is commanding us to turn away from evil and expose these things. I had to do it, and it's the most amazing thing. It's good. But let's get into it. It's also amazing to see what God is doing through his people during this evilness that's happening to children. Because if you notice through my videos, not even by purpose, I believe it is the Lord's will that we share this. If you look at most of my previous videos, it is about how Satan is corrupting children. He's corrupting them through us, adults, guiding them to do evil things. You know. If you just watch a lot of my... And this, of course, happens to be another thing that ties into that exact same theme of Satan going after the children. Because if he could start young with the brainwashing and evil and corruption, right? Here's an example. Perfect example. Watch this. Let's see if I can find it. Forgive me if this is not it.
They are under me.
Here. That's not it. It's close, though.
An international satanic pit.
Oh. Here we go.
Tebow, welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
That ain't it either. Looking for a short of this. Here we go.
You had mentioned a specific satanic cult.
That was a story of a friend of ours that fights in this space maybe 3-4 weeks ago was telling us. This is a story from Texas, and it was a 13-year-old girl that was being raped while someone would stand there and read the Bible to her. And then they would rotate and someone else would come in and read the Bible while she would be going through this horrible evil. And part of the reason that it was believed that they were doing is so that the worst moment of her life would be associated with God's Word. And that's a lot of people.
You'd mentioned...
How about that? What kind of sick stuff is that that's going on? Tim Tebow. Look what God is doing and had planned for him. He could have been a football player, stayed in that, but he chose Jesus instead. And look how God has been rewarding him. He's been using him for major, major, major purposes of exposing and saving hundreds and even thousands of children that have been victims of this sick stuff that's going on. Right? So, let's go support his foundation, Tim Tebow Foundation. It's an amazing, amazing thing that he's doing for the kingdom of God. And that's what this video is about, is promoting God and what these awesome men of God are doing to expose the evilness and darkness in this world. So now, let's go and watch, because that's what it says. Like, God is going to send and do and expose evil that's going on. The truth will come out. Nothing hidden in darkness. See, for there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. We're going to know everything. We're going to. And nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. So now we're going to start watching. This is going to be tonight. It's only going to probably be about another hour or so of this, but Lord willing, tomorrow or the next day we'll finish the rest of this, what this man is about to show. I want to watch the entire thing. I have yet to watch the entire thing. I know a little bit about this guy, and I definitely, from years of looking into a lot of stuff, and what I've seen is there's a lot of wickedness in this world. Satan is real. God is real. Spiritual warfare is real. And we're all in the middle of it. So this is something, bear with me, watch this, share this with people, go share their stuff without me in it. I don't care, but we got to get this kind of stuff out and start fighting for the kingdom of God.
Ryan Montgomery,
Shawn Ryan.
welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you, man.
And there is going to be foul language on this, just so you know, but this is super important stuff. I believe they're both men of God. Shawn Ryan is, and this guy, the comment right here, I believe he might actually be Christian. I don't know as much about him, but it says in here in his comment, this is him that's pinned by Shawn Ryan, says, "Thank you very much for having me back on the show. Parents, please watch this episode. It's extremely important, and I pray you act on the things we discuss." So I'm assuming he's a godly man.
I can't believe I am back in a good way.
What's it been, like 2 years?
3 years.
Has it been 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
Lots has happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Lots has
You got me thinking. Is it 2 years? I think it's 3. It's 3.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Lots has happened since you came on here, man.
A lot for both of us, it seems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look at this studio, man. It's unbelievable.
I've been dying to show you.
I couldn't wait to see it, and I mean, for the people that can't see the whole thing in real life, a video is not going to capture how awesome this is. It doesn't matter what kind of camera you use or how you 360 angle. It doesn't matter what you use. I've seen the last studio, which was awesome within itself, and then this one, it's like 2 or 3 times as big. Just the studio area alone. I can't talk about the rest of the property, but the rest of the property is sick, like beyond belief sick, and super happy for you, and not in a demeaning way, but proud of you. And I'm very grateful to be back.
Well, thank you, man. You were a huge part of this. You know that. Dude, I'm fucking proud of you too, man.
Thanks.
Like, just a recap for anybody that's listening who doesn't know who you are. I just kind of want to go over how we connected, the very first time, and where you were at in life, and kind of where I was at, but yeah. So backstory is
Is it coming up?
I'm not seeing anything.
an international.
Sorry, I'm seeing if I'm, yep, I'm live.
I can't find it, so I don't even know how to find it.
You go on my Facebook page.
I'm on a Facebook page.
It's at the very top. And it shows that I'm live.
I pull up Instagram one day. I see this very small MMA podcast.
500 followers.
500 followers. I don't know how this reel popped up on my algorithm.
Sorry.
There you are. And if I remember correctly, maybe often. And there you are. And if I remember correctly, I may mess this up a little bit, but the clip that I saw, and I want to roll the clip right now.
There's a father that posted a photo of their child in the bathtub where you couldn't see everything, but you could see enough, and it said on the top of it, they have no idea what's going to happen to them tonight. And then underneath there was comments with other people saying what they were going to do to this person's child. Oh my God. And at this point, remember, I have access to their server and they don't know it. So after I spoke to my attorney, who told me, hey, you did break federal law, you know, if you report this, you're risking going to prison. But I was just thinking to myself, if I bring this to trial, what jury is going to convict me? I mean, I just don't think, guilty or not, I'm willing to take my chances. So I reached out to my attorney, reached out to another attorney in Virginia, since he was a guy trying to run for Congress. Spoke to over 10 news stations. I have some of the calls recorded with them. Everybody was interested in this story. They thought it was amazing. As soon as it got to legal, not one of them posted this story. Even when I said, remove my name from it, remove any of the info I obtained illegally from it, just alert people that this website exists on the internet, nobody posted it. So I got an FBI report tip line number. I think it was website ic3.gov. It's an Internet Complaint Center report number. So I got that. The kicker, which is what got me started in this, after all of that, is 6 months later, I'm watching the news, or I'm reading the news online. I see Nathaniel Larson arrested at an airport at a layover with a 12-year-old girl that he kidnapped. And
Wow.
They were fully aware of what he was doing. They're fully aware of the 3,000 other people that I caught on the website with their IP addresses, their emails, their chat history, everything about them. A case, on a golden platter for any district attorney.
Just letting this slide.
And nothing happened. They didn't even bring up his websites in the news articles.
The clip that I saw was basically you talking about this guy that owned this pedophile website, standing over the bathtub, taking a selfie video with a 12-year-old girl in that bathtub, right?
It's close. It's
Close.
So what happened was,
It's even worse.
just the long story short version is, it was like you said, a very small MMA podcast that I went on, and they asked me a question. They said, "How did you get involved?" It was actually about the organization I was with at the time, but I just came as the technical support basically. And they said, "How did you get involved?" I was always standing behind the camera, didn't have my name associated to anything, and I had this information about this horrible website that was being ran by a politician in Virginia, and
Did you hear that? Ran by a politician in Virginia. Horrible website.
I explained that I got a text message from my friend's wife that had a couple screenshots, one of which was a father that had his child in the bathtub, and the title of the post, like you could see the child's back, so you could tell that they were nude, and the title of the post on this website was, "They have no idea what's going to happen to them tonight," and underneath of it, people were talking about what they were going to do to that person's child. So that was what the clip was. If they play the clip, they'll see what I was saying. The problem was, I infiltrated this network. I dumped their database. I had all their information. I had a case on a golden platter, like literally. I think that's what I said in the clip. And nobody was taking me seriously. And it took years of me trying. I went to all media sources, 11 plus media sources. I went to law enforcement. Went to 2 different attorneys. I went to a task force locally. I tried everything, and then I end up, just talking about that in that short clip, maybe a minute long. And the next day I wake up and there's like 10 million views on this clip. And I'm like, what the heck? I have all these journalist groups reaching out to me, all these media wanting to ask questions, all these different, all of these various podcasters reaching out to me. And I see in my comments, check your DMs from a guy named Shawn Ryan. And, I'm like, and I check my DMs and I see Shawn's in there, and I'm like, wow, this guy's got a big channel and he wants to talk about this. So we started a conversation, and, I wanted to get the story out there no matter what way it went out. I didn't care if it went out from a left wing, right wing, in between wing. It didn't matter. I just wanted the story out there. And, I didn't know anything about politics, still really don't, but I just was very, very blown away by a small account blowing up the way that it blew up. So I reach out. I start speaking with you. We arrange a podcast, which, if you remember, Project Veritas was involved in.
Oh, I remember.
So this is what I want to get into, what happened with that. So you So actually, this is the way I really want to put it, is nobody had the balls to talk about this story because, and I proved that with the media. I showed them what needed to be out there. It was black and white how bad this website was, and I had evidence that you could not refute of all of the people involved, and they just ignored me. And you saw that 1 minute clip and said, you know what? I'm going to risk my whole channel. I'm going to risk everything just because I want to get this kid that I don't even know, meaning me, I want to get this kid's message out there. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that and how many kids that's actually helped. Not just from me, from you, man. Like without you, without obviously all the things that led up to you, none of that would have happened, you know? And I am beyond grateful for that. And it's opened up so many doors, which I'll obviously get into in this episode, but beyond blessed, super grateful for it. And, you know, one thing that's frustrating is, and I have a good and bad thing to say about Project Veritas and why I wanted to tie them into this story is Project Veritas is the first journalist group to reach out to me that I was willing to, because they said, we'll come with, we'll fly overnight. We'll be there the next day. So they were in New York. I was in Florida. And they said, we'll come out and check out the database and we will investigate it. So of course I was like, yeah, come out, let's do it. Anybody who wants to run the story, let's go. This is right about the time James O'Keefe left or was fired, whatever happened there. That doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. They fly out to Florida. I hand them the data, and all of their journalists, all their reporters, the ones that I worked with directly, were passionate and wanted to work on this project, and they spent days / weeks / months of their life on this project. So I can't say a single negative thing about the team that I worked with there. They were all great, and they cared a ton about this case. What happened is James's replacement, her name is Hannah Giles. She came in as the interim CEO while they were trying to figure out what was going on. And at that point, if you remember, there were 7,000 people in that database from the original database. And Project Veritas, the goal was to go out to confront these people face to face with hidden cameras and ask them about their participation on the website. So like that meaning like not just you were on the site, but here's the forum post that you made. Here's the private messages that you had with other users, like expose these people. So they exposed a couple of them. They put it out publicly. And we identified 500 of the 7,000 without a shadow of a doubt. 500 of the 7,000 were identified at the time when Hannah Giles became the interim CEO. They wanted her, I'm assuming Hannah, wanted the New York Post or New York Times to release a story on it. And that was their main focus, which at that time, I remember, we were talking about it. When you're talking about circulation, it's like social media has a way bigger circulation than them. Then Hannah says to me, I'm on the phone with her, and she tells me that my story is not a tidal wave. That's the words verbatim that this woman used, and she shut it down. So,
Well, boy, she fucked that one up, didn't she?
she really did. And, not only because of how big this story got and how many kids, how much impact that database made on, some of the predator networks following it as well, but, the sad part of this is with Project Veritas, 500 of the 7,000 identified, 13 of which of the 500 were convicted of sex crimes with children after I originally reported the information to, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the tip lines, the task force, all the media. So, just ironically, the average offender has 13 victims in a lifetime, but 13 different cases occurred after I reported it. And then she shuts it down. So that's 500 of the 7,000. Who knows how many didn't get caught? And who knows how many more, how many victims just, it could have been prevented if someone would have just taken me seriously. And you did, man. You did. Project Veritas, as much as they, may get some hate or whatever, I don't have any opinion on anything else they've ever done other than what they've done with me. And their journalists were good to me. Their interim CEO, I don't like the way that she treated the situation. I have no problem saying that.
Sorry. Still dialing this in. Bear with me.
And man, I just wanted to, so I guess a long way of saying thank you so much. And I appreciate the balls that you have because nobody else did.
Well, it's my honor, man. But, I forgot about the Veritas stuff because we had to coordinate release of the episode with them.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, and there was some other publication that they're like, we got to wait and see if this goes. And I remember having a conversation with you, and I was like, dude, what we have here is 10 times any of the publications that they're talking about, and this is gonna fucking send. And it did. It wound up being the most viewed, most downloaded, biggest episode I've ever done, still to this date. And and I remember reaching out to you. I remember the FBI stuff. The FBI wouldn't take you seriously. I was so upset, and also this is like, you were the first person that I dove into this subject with because I had heard so much about it. But I don't trust nonprofits. But me and you talk a lot about that offline. I just don't trust them anymore. I've seen too many that started off with good intentions that go, Ray, and it becomes all about fucking raising money and not about whatever the actual mission was. And you didn't have any of that, and I could tell, like, on that post, I was like, this guy's just trying to get information out. And So yeah, reached out, tried to coordinate everything with Veritas. They wanted to do the story, and I remember telling you something along the lines like, "Fuck these people, dude. Let's just run it."
Yeah. Well, you actually had people that you had in line to put their episodes out before mine, and you rushed my episode for them.
Yeah.
Like, you did them a huge favor.
Yeah.
And then they just screwed it up. They could have done a lot more good. Like I said, they're journalists. If it was up to them, it would have happened.
I don't think it could have gone any better than it did, to be honest with you. Everything that happened, I think happened because what we did, like, you enlightened me, for starters, because I've gone on to do several episodes after you about it. I interviewed Jim Caviezel. We went to the premiere of Sound of Freedom together. Interviewed Tim Tebow, interviewed Jaron Hudson, interviewed Victor Marks. Like, you were the start of all of that. And I still continue to talk about it, to this day. But, I think what we did, man, is we just created, like, the perfect storm. And also, like, that was a huge, I don't think you wanted to be public. You were extremely fucking nervous to come on the show.
100%.
And I remember going through my head, like, how do I calm this guy down? And, but however, whatever, it worked. And it was jeopardizing my entire business because this is the forbidden fruit that you cannot talk about on certain platforms.
Right.
I remember thinking, you know what, fuck it. We're not monetizing this. I want to fly under the radar. I don't give a shit. If they shut everything down, it ended trying to pump some good into the world, and I'm
Amen.
like 100% fine with that.
Amen.
And that takes balls. Like, for the third time, it takes balls, and I appreciate that. And to be honest with you,
It's wild how
and
that.
I know I gave you.
It's wild how that is. Why? It's talking about child rape. That should be something that everybody would be like, that happened? We need to tell people and let people know. We need to investigate this, stop this everywhere, right? You would think that's what this world would be like, but something's off. Something's wrong.
A warning beforehand, but this one is just as deep and dear to my heart, and I have some stuff that I really, really need parents to know, and it's going to be rough, and I think that you guys, whoever's watching this, you're going to hear a lot of beeping.
Yeah.
It's important that you listen to what I have to tell you today.
But I wanted to say, man, like, and we've talked about it a lot offline, and especially at the very beginning after the episode when you were trying to figure out.
Watch this entire thing, even if you do this on your own. The important things he's about to bring up in this entire thing is
where you want to go, and because I think this was a segue into you having a much bigger role in the fight against exploitation and trafficking. But what we did, man, is, I jeopardized everything. You did too. But what wound up happening was we educated millions and millions of parents. We educated millions and millions and millions of kids on how this happens, prove to them how fast it happens. You know, dude, I will never forget when you made the screen name Ashley 13, because I was like, how, this isn't like, there's no way this shit happens this much. So I wanted to time you to see how, I figured we'd be there all fucking day.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Dude,
not.
it was like 5 seconds. And, and that just proved to, like I said, millions and millions and millions of parents and kids, like, this is how common this is. This is how fast it can happen. And then on the other hand, we scared a metric shit ton
Of predators.
of predators.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
And so that's what I would like to attest to is us, people our age now, you know, I'm 38, anywhere from anyone that's a teenager now to, I'd say 40, 45 even, knows about, our generations know about online, right? We're not super naive to this kind of stuff. So we do need to be monitoring and educating others that aren't as aware of these things, that you really shouldn't be just leaving kids unmonitored, free reign all over the internet. Like Tim Tebow said in another interview, you're letting the world teach your children. And the world is dark. Right? So you're literally letting them free reign over people that feel like they're being, for instance, these predators, people online, you feel, and I know people know this, you feel private. You feel like it's your own little world that no one will know about and find or anything like that. And people are wicked, right? I've done wicked things. You know, people when watching porn and all this kind of stuff, it's like, oh, you're private, you're all this kind of stuff. That gets sick. So what other sick stuff is going on? And children, I watched it when I was young. Children now, your children are probably watching it, right? If you don't know that, you need to know this. So they're too young to be watching what kind of sick stuff is going on with this stuff, right? I was too young, you know. But you got the adults at that time, all this kind of stuff, and we tend to out of sight, out of mind, or not realize what's going on, or no, they won't do that. Naive, even. And in his first time, the hacker, his first time on here, I guess he's showing how easy it is for, how fast it happens that a young person can get online and go through maybe a chat room. But I used to do Yahoo chats. I used to do all this stuff, everything like that. I know a lot of my friends did. You know what I mean? It was the funny thing to do at school, you know. And what else do you think the kids are doing these days, right? Stuff I don't even know. What kind of this websites they are talking about and sharing with each other, right? I watched dark stuff when I was 9, 10 years old. You know, I can probably even talk, Patrick, when you're that young, you were watching stuff that young? Yep. See what I mean? Bam. As in everyone, right? I'm not even going to say it didn't happen. I'm assuming probably the people that are watching this right now are like, yep. So what do you think your kids are doing? Right? I remember talking to people and it was so quick. Bam. If I wanted to, bam. I could talk to whoever I wanted, right? Didn't matter. You know what I mean? And you see some sick stuff on there. That's what he's talking about. And that's what we need to expose. And no, we don't need to take this lightly. This is real. And we're about to see more and more what's going on.
and so it really was the perfect storm. But, you know, some other context. I mean, now I'm like going back and forth. Now I'm like remembering all the things that happened like right after the episode. And I mean, we blasted the FBI on that episode.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Actually, we didn't blast them. We just expressed what happened when you got the information to the FBI and how they totally fucking dismissed it and how interested they were after the episode came out. Remember that? Remember how much they wanted to help? I know you guys are like maybe talking right now. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, everything I do now is in parallel with law enforcement, so.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll get into more of what that means.
But, yeah, I remember being extremely fearful. I was like, these people aren't trying to help you. They didn't help you the first time. There's 7,000 names on that list. And that was developed, a website was developed by a politician. They're trying to, every motherfucker on there is calling in favors, trying to get their name redacted from
I remember.
that
Do you
list.
remember? I was so scared of, because I took the, as you said, it was a risk for me. I was scared my door was going to get kicked in. They were like, I don't have anything to worry about, but I don't want to lose all my electronics or end up getting charged with something that I go to trial for and all this stuff. And I'm calling you. I'm calling you at like 11, 12 o'clock at night. You got Tim Parlatour helping me out. You got all these people, telling me like, yo, do this, do that, do that. Like, make sure you don't do this, don't do that. Like, I got you. You helped me an absolute ton. Back, because I was panicking, man. I was panicking because I wanted the information out there, but I didn't know what to expect, because technically what I did at that time was not legal. My intentions were obviously good. I would say it's more gray than black hat, but it was, I obtained that information illegally. So I was scared. I was genuinely scared, and it was very new territory to me. I know now a lot more than I did. And as I said in the beginning, if I had to go to trial for this and I had to stand in front of 12 jurors or jury, like, I have a hard time believing that people would say that I'm a criminal for taking down a predator organization. But I genuinely was scared at that time.
Well, it wound up being a wildly successful piece of content. I mean, with all the clips and the reels and the episode and the downloads, I mean, it's literally hundreds of millions of views, and then your life just exploded into ways that I think you never imagined you would go into. But,
oh my gosh!
I mean, I remember seeing you on all the big podcasts, and I was just, dude, through all the shit and all the fame that you've amassed since we met, dude, I just want to say, man, I am so fucking proud of you. Like, you have handled the fame and the notoriety like nobody I've ever seen, man. Like, you have stayed true to yourself. You did not turn into a pompous asshole. You are the same man that I met when nobody knew who the hell you were 3 years ago when we did that interview. And
it means the world to me, man. It really does.
I just want to say, I want the world to know, your character. Like, that didn't turn into a massive amount of money for you, I don't think. You're not here to make money. Like, when people ask me about you, or I'm talking about you, and I talk about you a lot, one of the things I always say is, like, that guy does not give a fuck about anything but saving kids. Wow. He doesn't give a shit if you approach him with business ideas. Like, if that's your focus, he's not going to want to do it. Like, all that dude wants to do is save fucking kids. He doesn't give a shit about the fame. He doesn't give a shit about his following. He doesn't care about anything but saving those kids. And, and there's just not very many people like you, man.
Thank you. Likewise. There's not many people I consider friends, especially in this space, like making YouTube videos and content and podcasts. I mean, you're the only one that I would consider a friend, like a real one, a real friend. And people don't know us off camera, but there's not many people that I can ride around with on an ATV and have the conversations we had yesterday. Like, it's that's what I look forward to in life. You only get a couple good friends, and I'm grateful and glad that you're one of them.
Yeah, likewise, man. I love you, dude.
Love you too, man.
You're a great human.
That's cool.
But well, let me give you an introduction here real quick.
All right.
Then we'll get into the interview. Ryan Montgomery, a powerhouse in cybersecurity and the fight against child exploitation, a top ethical hacker and penetration tester with over 19 years of experience, ranked number 1 on TryHackMe's Capture the Flag leaderboard, the founder of Pentester, a Boca Raton-based platform offering online privacy solutions for people and businesses. As CTO of the Sentinel Foundation, you use cutting-edge technology and law enforcement collaborations to combat global child exploitation and human trafficking. Known for infiltrating dark websites, to expose predators. You've demonstrated live hacks right here on my show, which we just talked about. You specialize in ethical hacking, data protection, and online safety, advocating for stronger cybersecurity and protecting vulnerable populations. And one of my favorite people in the world, Ryan Montgomery. Yeah, so wow. I know we are here to talk about some of the childhood stuff that we missed the last time, a lot of the stuff that you've been doing now, and but I think that the premise of this interview, which will come towards the middle and the end, is the domestic terrorist group, the 764 group, correct?
That's correct.
And all of the horrific stuff that they're doing. So like I said, this is going to be very similar to the interview that we did before, and this is to educate. Our purpose here is to educate parents and kids and to scare the shit out of pedophiles and to expose how these things are happening and just educate, because we've talked about this offline too. And I think that the collaboration that me and you did online has saved more kids than any other. Dude, it's hundreds of millions of people that watch that. Like, so many parents and so many kids. Like, it made it real. I mean, you demonstrated it right here live.
And I can unfortunately do it again on any platform. Right?
And,
literally any platform.
And so, that's like, it's my proudest interview, man, not because of the numbers and not because of like the explosiveness of the interview. It's because there are, who knows, countless kids out there whose parents watch that, who they watch that will never have to fucking face the trauma that they would have faced if their parents and themselves didn't implement the things to protect them.
Wow.
And I know it didn't get to everybody, but man, like, we saved a lot of fucking kids there, man.
Well, I love to hear that, and I'd love to believe that as well. And to be honest, like, I've been all over the world, all over the country in the last 3 years, and running into strangers on the street, at the airport, at the mall, all these places, people stopping me now, which, is very new to me. But some of them are parents, and they tell me, like, hey, I stopped posting my kid on the internet for this reason or that reason, or I was a victim of this, or I have a situation. I hear this from not only from people sending me direct messages, emails, literally letters in the mail. There's so many ways of people contacting me now. But like, something about somebody coming up to me in real life and telling me the impact that it's made. It's like, what are the odds of just a stranger that runs into me, that made an impact? If it happened with that person, it must have happened with a lot more than I'm aware of, Yeah. And that makes me very proud, makes me happy, and it makes me motivated to keep doing this. Because as you said, I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm not looking for money. If you blurred my face and you changed my voice for this episode, it wouldn't change anything.
That's awesome.
It's really about getting the word out there. Amen. And making some sort of change, because nobody else seems to be doing it. Nobody else seems to. I don't know. I mean, there's people that have passion. I don't want to discount them, because there are good people in this space. But coming onto a show and talking about this stuff in some of the detail that I want to. I don't really see other people doing.
Wow.
And I don't see somebody else having the nerve to do it with them. Yeah. So I just think it's a very unique opportunity that we showed worked the first time, and it's for the millionth time a blessing.
Well, let's hope it works again. But Ryan, one of the other things that I loved about you is we both kind of started our journey to Christianity together around the same time. I wouldn't say together, but with timelines really match up. And I know you've grown a lot in your spiritual journey, and so have I. And so I think we should kick this off with a prayer. What do you think?
Amen.
Sure. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Dang.
Jesus, I just want to say thank you for my friendship with Ryan and for bringing us together those years ago. And I'm just so proud of him and thankful for our relationship. And And Jesus, I just ask you to be in this room with us today and to guide Ryan and myself the way that you want us to expose this 764 satanic cult, what they're doing to kids. And we just ask that you distribute the information that we're going to reveal today to all the kids and all the parents, especially the vulnerable ones who may have an unfortunate future that they're facing. And we just hope to derail them from that traumatic future and into more beautiful things. And we just hope that that the people that watch this, if their future was heading towards that, we just want it to head towards the light and for them to take this information seriously and put in the repercussions that they need so that they don't become a victim. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
cheers.
Cheers.
All right, but let's start it with some fun stuff. So,
Okay.
one of the fun things we did last time is you had all these gadgets and you blew my fucking mind. So, I see all new stuff over here. What do we got?
So we got a lot of new things. I don't know if it's going to be exactly the way that we did the first time because I did show you some, a lot. I blanketed a lot of topics and and I pissed off a lot of people in cybersecurity in that process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because trying to explain some of these attacks and cybersecurity methods to people that aren't cybersecurity professionals is tough. I mean, try to explain a captive portal to your grandmom. It's just you have to like, and I'm not saying you're an old.
Are you calling me a fucking? Are you calling me a geriatric?
No,
it's all right. I'm pretty close.
What I'm saying is most people are not tech literate. Most like it doesn't matter if they're older or younger. So people got really aggravated with the way that I explained it. They got really aggravated with the #1 ethical hacker thing. I never said that I was the #1 hacker in the world. There's no way to rank that, and honestly, I would love if you titled this video #1 ethical hacker, but just to piss them off.
Hey, we can do that. I'm glad you finally reached that point.
I am done. I'm done caring. I've tried posting on all of my platforms. I've talked on other podcasts about it. I've made it very clear. I know I'm not the best hacker. I never said I was, but at this point, I just like aggravating them. So,
if I've learned anything from doing podcasts, there's one thing: you cannot make the internet happy, no matter what the fuck you do. So,
not a chance.
It's more fun to piss them off, anyways.
Yeah, I'm learning that. And I call them the neckbeards and the actuallys and
nice.
So I'm sure they'll have some stuff to say about some of this stuff, but that's fine. So. There's a couple things here. One of which we're going to need, the thing, to screw it into. I don't want to ruin what it is yet.
Are you carrying all this stuff all the time now, like the last?
Yeah, it's always in my pocket.
Right on. So this is the latest and greatest EDC.
Yeah.
Are you still carrying the flipper?
The flipper, that is in my pocket. So at all times, always have the flipper. And the reason, honestly, is that I'll show a cool attack, which it'll probably end up being some type of B-roll or something in here because we have to do it in a non-disclosed location or just whatever. But I have some custom firmware on here now that can, break into a ton of different cars. And it's on a rolling code system, meaning like every time you hit the button on your key fob, the code changes, and the car only accepts the new code. And this has custom firmware that gets in sync with that rolling code. Let's say you click the lock button. Now I have the lock, unlock, trunk, all of the buttons on your key fob just from one press. And that was one thing they lost their minds over, saying that that attack's been around 20 years. It's not rolling code. It's not this, but it is rolling code. It is a new attack. So, and I'll demonstrate it on the show. Once we get outside or whatever point that is. But the flipper, and then this was actually given to me. This is called it's a dual ESP by a company called AWOC Dynamics. I believe they're so AWOC. A guy, I was at this hacker conference called DEF CON, which is the biggest hacker meetup in the world, I believe. And a friend of mine, another YouTuber, Talking Sasquatch, just comes up to me and hands this to me, and it was obvious because I know what these pins mean. That they fit in the flipper. Right? So you plug this into the top of the flipper. They're called GPIO pins.
Oh shit!
and it makes this thing look ridiculous. But
Flipper on steroids. Here we go.
well, the flipper doesn't have Wi-Fi capability by default, so this gives it 2 different Wi-Fi chips that do Bluetooth. They do other things as well, but you'll see that the flipper, when I turn this thing on, I give it 5 volts. You'll see the power of it goes on, and then I have a touch screen here now where I can do Wi-Fi attacks. There's sniffers, scanners, war driving, attacks, general, so beacon spamming, Rick rolls, evil portals, DOF, meaning like disconnecting devices from the network, DOF targeted, meaning target a specific device. And the cool thing about this is it can run.
What do you mean target a specific device?
So let's say you had a wireless camera outside, and I see that address, like, that's coming up as a device on the screen here. I could target just that device.
How do you know what the device is? I mean, there's probably 100 wireless devices at the studio at all times. How do you narrow it down and go, it's that fucking camera right over there in the right corner?
So it depends. If it's broadcasting like BLE, for example, or a MAC address, there's a thing called like an OUI database that you can identify it from the digits there, which I'm just trying to simplify things. But like there's ways you could do that, or you could just do a de-auth flood, which then just hits everything it possibly can. And then you could take a safe bet that if it's on, the frequency that this is de-authing on, it's going to knock it offline.
Gotcha.
But what's cool about this is a lot of things, because I just like, without going into the nitty gritty of it, the Wi-Fi capabilities. It also has Bluetooth capabilities and Bluetooth attacks. And one of them's called Sour Apple, and I'll get more into that later. You could spoof an AirTag with this thing, like to make it people. You could do all that.
What do you mean spoof an AirTag? What does that even mean?
So it'll make your phone believe that there's an AirTag there. So like how your phone will say you're being tracked by an AirTag, but like these antennas versus an AirTag's antennas are way more significant. I'll show you more once I get over to this other tool about Bluetooth attacks, but some really cool stuff there. But the reason why this is called a dual ESP, which means there's 2 boards in it. You can use the flippers on the custom. There's a custom app in here that, like, let's say I wanted to do one attack that's taking your cameras offline, and I want to do another attack that's stealing your passwords. I can use 2 different networks completely, doing 2 different attacks, because this has 2 boards in it, and the flipper knows to use one or the other. So
how are you going to steal the passwords?
I'll show you because I have something else for that. It's unbelievable, but this was a cool gift, and I wanted to show it off because it looks cool, And then this right here, I think you're really going to like this. So a company, also Kickstarter related.
I'm not going to like it, Brian. I don't like any of this stuff.
You might not like this. You might not. All right, so this is called the BLE Shark Nano. And the company, I think they're for sale now, but they sent them out to me because I asked, because I really wanted one. It looked cool, and the guy was nice enough. I think his name was George. He sent it out to me, and I was like, who knows, like what I'm going to do with it. I just want to play around with it. And I recorded a video at that conference, and it's got like 20 million views, like me just showing this thing off, and I was not expecting that at all. So I'll show you what I mean by stealing the passwords. I think that this should do it. Okay, so now go to your phone, just go to settings, go to Wi-Fi, and you should see a free Wi-Fi there. I just named it free Wi-Fi.
All right, and my phone's over there. Oh, shit, here we go.
Don't worry, it won't hurt anything.
Yep, free Wi-Fi, got it.
So what happens when you click free Wi-Fi?
I should click it? All right, here we go. Sign into your Google account.
Okay, so just put in like Shawn@gmail.com. And then just put in whatever password you want. I got it. So, should I walk over to you because it's small?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Shawn@gmail.com. Password hack this.
No shit.
Yeah, so what if, for the people, I don't know if they could hear me. For the people that couldn't see this little device, Shawn just got a network that said free Wi-Fi. It could have been airport Wi-Fi. That could have been hotel Wi-Fi.
Sweet.
That could have been Starbucks Wi-Fi. It could be whatever I wanted to name that network.
Wow.
And what happened was he got what's called a captive portal, which a lot of people would be familiar with. They might not recognize the term, but you connect to a free network in public and the screen pops up that says, like, I agree to the terms and conditions. Or if you're in a hotel room, it might say, you're in room 1308 and your last name is this. And then when you press submit, it tells the hotel, yeah, this is a guest, give them access to our network. That's a captive portal. In this case, it created a fake Google captive portal that looked like the real Google login. I mean, I don't think there's any way you could have differentiated that from a real Google login, because what you're taught in phishing attacks is to look at the URL. If the URL doesn't say google.com, then it's not real, right? Well, in captive portals, the URL just says captive.apple.com as the default. So there's no way to tell that's not real. Like, you should never put your credentials in, is basically what I'm saying, into any captive portal. And another thing to think about regarding hotel Wi-Fi or anything related.
So you get that as in, don't put any of your credentials in any of these. Like when you go to the hotel or even Walmart, everybody gets on Walmart, Wi-Fi, or any of these buildings we go into all the time to get on their Wi-Fi. You got to think, how many people go into Walmart? How many people have thought, oh, maybe I'll just go to Walmart, and hack them or do any of this kind of stuff. It's like, so we probably need to be mindful and figuring out how to,
Let's say you're at a hotel or you're on an airplane and you're trying to get internet and you have to put your credit card in to get it. Like maybe the hotel charges more for faster internet. I've seen that, like to support streaming or whatever. I could make a fake network that says, and stand outside of a hotel or leave a device outside of a hotel or be on an airplane and require a credit card with a name, with an address, with all this info for them to upgrade their connection or upgrade whatever it may be, and be stealing credit card numbers as well as their passwords. And there'd be no way for them to know that I was doing it, because the second that they submit it and it's over with, now they're connected to the internet if I route it to the internet.
Wow.
You maintain your gear so it lasts, and your skin's no different. It's the first thing exposed to the elements every single day. Caldera Lab is built to help repair and protect your skin so you can look and feel your best every day. Caldera Lab creates high-performance skincare for men by combining cutting-edge science with powerful natural ingredients. It absorbs quickly, with no greasy mess. You guys know I'm a stickler for clean ingredients, and Caldera Lab really delivers on that. Each product is backed by science, built for impact, and thoughtfully formulated with safety and sustainability at the forefront. I know. Guys don't have time for a skincare routine, but Caldera Lab makes it easy with 4 simple steps that actually work. There's the Clean Slate Balancing Cleanser, the eye serum that helps reduce dark circles and fine lines, the base layer, that's a deep, hydrating moisturizer, and then there's the good, a powerhouse serum that has over 3.4 million antioxidant units per drop to help reduce signs of aging. Take care of your skin like you take care of your gear. Go to calderalab.com/SRS and use code SRS for 20% off your first order. That's calderalab.com/SRS. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. A lot of dark stuff going on in the world right now, and it's to the point where I don't even believe my own eyes anymore, because I cannot verify what people are saying about all the political violence, the division. I partner with this production company called Ironclad, and we're doing an 8-part audio series on PSYOPs, on why foreign countries, governments, maybe even our own government, would conduct a psyop on its own people. And I just think that this series is going to be extremely important because it's going to open the eyes of people on why these things happen. You can head over to psyopshow.com, order it today. I think you're going to get a lot out of this. Who's pulling the strings? Who's pulling them?
I can tell you I know who's pulling the strings on that kind of stuff. If you go to Second Timothy 2:22-26. Of course, this is talking. Well, just read it. Flee the evil desires of youth and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart. Don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments, because you know they produce quarrels. And the Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but must be kind to everyone, able to teach, not resentful. Opponents must be gently instructed, in the hope that God will grant them repentance, leading them to a knowledge of truth, and that they will come to their senses and escape from the trap of the devil, who has taken them captive to do his will. Of course, this is talking about a little bit different scenarios than the psyops and things going on in this world. But who's pulling the strings? It still ties in. It says in here, right here, that the trap of the devil has taken them captive to do his will, right? Taking them captive by deception, by many of his schemes. It talks about it in here as well. Ephesians 6:11-12. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? So there's tactics, and we're going to get into some probably here in this video, that the devil likes to use. Just think of evil in this world, like people, greed, power, blackmail, all this kind of stuff, right? Lies, cons, theft, kidnapping, murder, rape, blackmail of these rapes so that he can get you to do his will, right? All these things. But God is more powerful than the devil. Put on the full armor of God so that you could stand. Right?
For 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they stand by their values. Patriot Mobile has been a great supporter of this show, which is why I'm proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without the compromise. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're choosing more than a wireless provider. You're supporting a company that stands for American values and that proudly honors our veterans and first responders. Their 100% US-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Just go to patriotmobile.com/SRS or call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation when you use the offer code SRS. Make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/SRS. That's patriotmobile.com/SRS or call 972-PATRIOT. I mean, how many people are doing this? I feel like this could be happening at every single hotel.
I think it would be naive to think it's not happening all over the place. I mean, there's a lot more cybersecurity people out there now than there were when I was a kid. Like, I don't know that there's no way to tell you how many black hats exist, how many people get arrested for hacking charges. I mean, I don't have those numbers, but is
this like pretty common though?
I mean, these attacks are I wouldn't say that the attacks are trivial, because they're like your average person. It would take some time to understand these topics to know how to recreate that attack. You could buy a device that just does it, but I don't know. I can't tell you how prevalent these are, but it like I could give you that device and you could do that with 2 clicks.
Well, I mean, the reason I'm asking is, I mean, you travel a lot. I travel a lot. We spend a lot of time in hotels and airports and shit like that. I'm always connecting to the airplane Wi-Fi, even though the shit never works.
Yeah.
I love paying $10 and then you don't get any fucking internet.
Yeah, but you put your credit card in there.
Yeah.
And how do you know it's really?
So that's what I'm getting at. If you go to whatever, the Holiday Inn Express, and you want to get internet, and there's Holiday Inn Guest, Holiday Inn Express Guest, you don't know which one's the legitimate one. They make them look identical. So
Yeah, there's no way for you to know the difference. So
how can people guard against something like that?
There's not a great way to do it unless you unless you know a little bit about computers. Because like what I would do in that case is I would try to, like, in a captive portal on a phone, you can't like view the source of the page, like look at the code of the front end client side of the page. I would look at that to see if there's anything odd there that's not connecting to like, because that, like, this isn't connected to the internet right now. So for you to see that Google page, it had to load the Google logo from that device. It had to load all of the text on the page from that device. Whereas if it was actually pulling data from Google, you would see all of the Google links inside it's called the source code. So that, like, if you're on a laptop, like in a perfect world, you could right click, you could hit view source and see if in the code, if it actually is going to the name of the hotel.com or google.com. And if that's true, it still doesn't guarantee that it's real, but it gives you a better chance.
Gotcha.
And then inside of these captive portals, there's like sometimes it doesn't just say captive.apple.com. You'll see like an actual name at the top. But, anything can be modified, man. And I just say the general way to put this is just don't trust public Wi-Fi. So I wish I could give you a solid answer. I don't think anybody would be able to give you a better answer than that, because it's kind of an up in the air. Public Wi-Fi, there's way more vulnerabilities than just that.
Yeah. Well, I got you a gift, Ryan.
Oh, yeah?
And so I was going to wait, but this seems like the perfect time to give it to you. So, I'll give you the other gift later. So here you go. Since we're talking about public Wi-Fi. So while you're opening that, let me tell you a story.
All right.
So actually it probably started with you. I started getting, with the FBI stuff, I started getting very paranoid about who's listening in on my conversations and all that kind of stuff. And then we went to Taiwan, we went to Dubai, we started doing all these overseas interviews. I know China, is looking for backdoors into our stuff. So anyways, I got super paranoid and I started looking for a real black phone. And so what I found was this company, Glacier, and they make a black phone. They do a hardened iPhone. They can do any phone. Any phone you have, you can hand it to them, and they will turn it into a hardened device where it stops data from getting sucked out of you. There's an Overwatch. You get endless amount of burner numbers. You get all-American VPNs. There's like a kidnapping type feature that tracks you more than regular iOS. But anyways, lots of features on that. But another thing they do, where did that device go?
I put it right here.
Yeah, so
You don't open it back up?
Yeah, hold that up. So anyways, I called them up. We're going to partner with them. And those phones are like $8,500.
Really?
Yeah, but I wanted something. I was like, look, this is becoming more and more of a thing. You see China buying up a lot of the VPN companies. You see Israel buying a lot of VPN companies.
Wow.
And so what that thing is so we're doing this app.
We got to realize this, guys. There are technologies in this world that really shouldn't be in people's hands, but they are. And there are evil people in this world, and then there's also confused people in this world, and unknowing people in this world. Doing things, and big time. China, for instance, is a big country. A lot of people, they're doing, y'all know what they're doing. They're not trying to be our friends, I can tell you that.
And the app is going to be like a more consumer-friendly version of the phone. The phone is really for Intel people, major corporations for their C-suite, stuff like that. It has a secure messenger service. But anyways, so we are doing a consumer product of that. That's more consumer-friendly. It's going to be an app, and we're going to call it Glacier app. There's a link for anybody that's interested with the late list down there. And we're also developing products. So that is a secure internet device from Glacier, works in 130 different countries. Basically, you just turn it on. It puts you on the secure server, like I said, in over 130 countries. They set it up to where all your devices will just automatically link to it. Then you're not using public hotel Wi-Fi, you're not using airport Wi-Fi, you're not using anybody's Wi-Fi, especially overseas, and it's all encrypted.
And this is connected to like a cellular network?
This is connected to a cellular network that runs through Glacier, and so all of your traffic will be
awesome.
Encrypted.
And is there like a subscription fee for this?
We haven't released those yet. Great question.
Oh. So I get the free 99.
Yeah, you get the free one. So there it is.
Well, thank you very much. This is really cool.
Now you don't have to worry about public Wi-Fi anymore.
Well, I think it's more for the other people than me, but I appreciate it. I'll be using the crap out of this. I promise you that.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you very much. I didn't realize it did all that. It looks like a power bank, but it does a lot more than a power bank based on what you just said.
Yeah, so we use that in Taiwan. We use that in Romania. We use that in Dubai. I use it everywhere now.
Awesome.
So
well, congrats on that. That's good.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm pumped.
Yeah,
you turned me into a tech guy.
Yeah, you will.
You were the first tech guy I had on.
You know what I will also turn you into?
What's that?
I mean, I know you're wealthy, Shawn, but I don't think you're this wealthy.
I'm not wealthy.
Hold on a second. I brought something for you here. I got you $1 billion.
Dude.
$1 billion.
I could use an extra billion.
So,
the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, but you see how it says dollars on that bill?
Yeah.
So you technically have $1 billion.
Fucking A.
You're officially a billionaire.
Billionaire now.
And I just wanted to make it very clear that you have. It's in the United States, so maybe it came from Zimbabwe.
Thanks for making me a huge target.
Well, you hear about all these problems with billionaires in the United States. But people having issues with them and all this stuff. But you're not going to be one of them. And think about the people in Zimbabwe; they're all billionaires too.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good point.
No problems. But just thought it was a cool thing. We ordered them on eBay at the office because there's like $50 or $20 billion bills, $40 billion.
You ordered these on eBay.
Yeah, we thought we put them in a frame, and we just thought it'd be funny to give you one because it's just unbelievable the amount of inflation that's happened. But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
they don't use those bills anymore. But
right on.
Yeah, but it's a cool thing to have, I thought. But I got a couple things about cellular that I want to talk about. So
yeah, let's do it.
It's nothing against what you said. It's more just about cellular in general and my worries for it. So, firstly, there's this thing right here, which is a Verizon hotspot. It looks no different than a Verizon hotspot. That's what it is. It is a hotspot. I think it's called the Orbit. The actual Orbic is the actual model of it. They're about $9 on eBay as of recording right now. And if I plug it in, show you how simple this is.
So this is the exact same thing as what I just gave you, just on secure.
Yeah, so this is just a hotspot.
Okay.
But I modified this hotspot with a custom firmware called Ray Hunter.
Of course you did.
And for $9, I can, which I know you're going to want one of these. This is up your alley.
Is this going to be the framed piece for this episode?
I don't know. But I bring this every country I go to, everywhere I go. So it's charged right now. Let me turn it on. Come on. There it goes. Okay. So you see, it's got their logo and everything on it. You would never know this isn't a real hotspot.
Yeah.
It still does broadcast a network on it. And you'll see at the top here, you're going to start seeing a green or red, hopefully green, a green or red line the second that it boots up. Okay, so it has no service at the moment, but it's loading. Okay, see that green line at the top there?
Yeah.
So that means that there are no stingrays within proximity to us, which is going real simple as how the feds or certain people can track your phone's location, the information that comes from your phone. Like, just think of it as a way to determine if your phone's being tracked. And you can just have this running at all times, sitting in your pocket, and instead of it acting as a Wi-Fi router or hotspot, I can take this, I can use my phone. I'll show you. I could go and connect to the Verizon network right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go right to my browser. Hold on. Stingray Hunter. Where's it at? Come on. And I'll just...
So this thing basically detects if there's anything listening or gathering information on you within some type of a radius.
Yeah, and you don't have to stare at it. You know, that's kind of the good thing about it is you don't have to stare at it and if it turns red once, it's here, hold on, I'll show you.
Like when you came to the old studio and we had that little piece of shit EMF detector thing and we found something on the wall and we're like, where is it?
Yeah, this is a whole different thing. Let me just look. I have it in my bookmark. Sorry, because I have the actual Verizon page and then I have the page of it where it's modified. Sorry. Here we go. All right. So, actually, what the heck? I actually have a warning here.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious. Look at this. There's a red warning. So I'll download that PCAP after. Like, I seriously didn't set this up. I really didn't. I swear to God.
Well, shit, how do you know what it is?
I'll download it and try to see, but it just lets me know that there's a device within proximity. That's the first time that's my first time ever seeing a warning.
This is likely, if you just turn your device on, this is likely a false positive.
Well, there's two other captures above it. So, I don't know. There's a couple below it and above it. So we'll have to look into that. I've never even seen that.
Wait a minute. This is my place?
I didn't look at it.
This says Thursday, July 3rd, Wednesday, September 10th.
Well, then that would be incorrect, unless the top one has the wrong date.
Top one is Monday, October 20th.
That's today?
Yeah.
Yeah, then the other one I must have missed it.
Dude, you can't be fucking with me like that.
I didn't mean to. I barely looked at it. I just saw red and was like,
I just told you how paranoid I get about this shit.
Well, this is why you need one of these.
I need to buy that.
It's $9 right now. I'll just give you this one. But
it's $9?
Yeah, it's a hacked version of a Verizon hotspot. But
so you just turn that on anywhere you go. How far is the radius?
I mean, it's anywhere it receives cellular, just like a cell phone would.
Yeah.
So what it's doing is like this interface is because I'm connected to the hotspot as if you would be using it, but it's on a custom port. It's called. So like do you know how like people can root their Androids, meaning like giving it more permissions and install custom apps. This is running a version of Android that's rooted, and then it's running that custom software. So you just go in here, you let it run all day, and then you can go and just check, is it green, is it red? And if it is red, the Ray Hunter, like GitHub is like where all the developers put their stuff. You can copy the file and put it in there, and they'll analyze it for you. Like you don't even need to know what you're looking at. So they'd be interested in this red one that I have because I've never even seen red before. This is my first time. But yeah, I thought you would like this because it's kind of a cool, cheap, little hacky thing, but all of it works.
I'm getting like one of those for everybody on the team.
Yeah, I'll set them all up for you. All right, so that one.
What's that called?
This is a regular Verizon hotspot, but the software on it's called Ray Hunter.
Okay.
And then this is the Orbic, Orbic, Verizon Orbic.
Right on.
Yeah, I got mine on eBay. Let me turn it off. But as long as you're seeing a green line, you're good. And I didn't see a red line here, so I was like, as soon as I logged into the portal, it was like red. I was like, what? Never seen red.
So what do you do if it's red? Get a new hotel room?
Put your phone in airplane mode or in a Faraday bag real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, because I never had it happen, but I like to know if someone's spying on me,
So they could be sucking info out even. Okay.
And then let's see, what else can I show you? Okay, so speaking of cell phones, staying on that topic, this is something I actually brought as another gift for you. And
I love gifts.
have you heard of Meshtastic?
No.
So it's super cool. And I don't know how familiar you are with the China situation. It just happened in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I mean, I can talk about it briefly. I wrote some just so I make sure I have the numbers correct on that. There was 300 SIM card servers with over 100,000 SIM cards capable of taking 20 million offline. So, and that's the tri-state region of New York. So, like, not just New York, but the surrounding states too. And and that's just with the ones that they found. So, I think it would be kind of naive to think,
What are they planning?
there's not more of these all over our entire country.
What are they
So what could that have done?
So it would have been a denial of service attack is the technical term for it, but it would have been so many, like, have you ever been to a concert or a big event where everybody's there and your phone's going so slow and no calls are going through?
Yep.
That's because that's just so many people are there. Denial of service. This is a distributed denial of service, meaning coming from multiple angles with, let's say each one sending 100 text messages a minute. It's intentionally trying to flood the towers with so much data that they can't function. They can't keep up with it. So that's essentially what that was set up to do. And to my knowledge, the way they found that, at least partially, was from a tip. So I don't think they're going to get a tip everywhere that China or whoever, I'm assuming China in almost all cases, has these all over our country, which scares the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking into it.
What would they? Okay, so I really want to dive in. I have an idea of where this is going, but I want you to describe, like, okay, they shut down all cell phone communications. What does that mean for the population, especially in a city that's as dense as Manhattan?
It's absolute chaos is what happened. It's absolute chaos. Everyone relies on a phone right now in some sort of way to connect with their families, to pay their bills, to, get into their cars, and like myself included, to get into their houses, to pay for things. It's like if to call for emergency services, like whatever, all of these things. And if you take it away, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, if China attacks us with an EMP and we lose our power, I mean, some stuff that I've read means people are thinking we're not even going to make it 3 months without power. Yeah. Like a lot of people are just going to die off.
A lot of people would die off.
Yeah. And it's sad and it makes sense though. So I could try to go further into it. I don't know, on the politics and all that, like, I don't know a ton about it.
I mean, how long would the server be down for?
As long as they're attacking.
So how would they initiate the attack?
So this is a guess from me, but if it was me behind this, so let's say I would have all of these servers ready to go. I would have one computer that had access to all of them, or just imagine just like a digital switch. So I remote into a computer somewhere, wherever it is, and I press the go button basically, and the go button tells all of those SIM servers to start sending out text messages at mass volumes, and it's just going to keep people offline. So it would be somebody remotely detonating essentially. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, all of the phones in the area / tri-state area, according to what I read, would be, they'd be completely useless. Not only with text messages, also phone calls, also data for the internet, completely offline. So,
like hardwired internet as well?
No, internet would be okay. Because it's not affecting the cellular towers, but any cellular connection would be offline. Like you would see that you had connection, but it just wouldn't work.
How long could they keep it down for?
They would have to figure out where all of the places that were distributing all of that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it would take time. It would be substantial enough for it to be a problem. I'll tell you that much. Especially, imagine if it happened in like Utah or somewhere where there wasn't, like I don't know. I'm just taking a random guess, but like somewhere that a little more desolate in certain areas at least. It would take a while for that to be fixed, I believe.
Would there be a way to trace that type of a signal? I mean, I remember seeing the pictures of that, and I mean, it was like tons of antennas and electronics. I mean, do one of these devices go, whoa, there's like a lot of text messages coming from that building?
So none of these devices are going to go. I mean, you may be able to pull some general cellular frequency stuff from the HACRF/H4M, like the new HACRF. Combination. It's a whole thing. But you may be able to see something on here, like like a waterfall display is. It's just like colors going down the screen. You may be able to see like a big fluctuation of that, but I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. But I do know that with a denial of service attack, with a ton of numbers, taking 20 million phones offline, I mean, that's a serious problem, regardless if they could find it or not. But the problem is this. The problem is, if you're not sending or receiving text messages on all of these SIM servers, then how are they going to identify that they're there? Because they're not transmitting or receiving any data at that point. If the remote on and off switch I was talking about earlier was off, they're not going to be able to determine that they're there yet. But the second they start sending out a signal, it's probably a little bit easier for them to detect all of this data is coming out of this specific spot. They could just, go around with an electromagnetic, field detector and say, wow, there's a crap ton of all this coming out of this building.
By then it's too late.
Yeah, at that point, it's already caused a mass hysteria or a mass problem, or the media is already reporting on China's attacking us or whatever, God forbid, happens. Shit. So, yeah, it's wild, man.
So what is the red thing here?
So this is a radio that I built for you. I bought the parts, obviously. The nerd details. It's a Heltec V3. It's a 3D printed case. It's got a custom antenna on it that gives you a little bit more range, because out here there's a lot more space than like in South Florida. We have hurricanes. We have all of the different emergencies that might happen, and we can operate with a little bit smaller antennas than what you would need in this state. So basically, what this device does is it operates very similar to a walkie-talkie. So but way cooler. So just hear me out. Like when you click a walkie-talkie and we're within range of each other, you're going to hear me, I'm going to hear you. Same with this. So this doesn't use your voice. You don't talk on it like a phone. You text with this. So imagine I send a text and I say, hey, Shawn. And then let's say you're within 100 feet of me, you receive it. Now let's say you're 10 miles away from me. This antenna isn't going 10 miles. With a walkie-talkie, it isn't going 10 miles. The reason why they call it mesh-tastic is because it's using all of the devices in between you to mesh together to get that message to the intended recipient. And on top of that, it's fully encrypted. So the devices that are carrying the message, imagine all the walkie-talkies are carrying that message until it gets to you, but none of them can hear your voice until it gets to the destination. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's a primary channel, which is just like, it's non-encrypted. Everybody's conversations in there. That's great for the natural hurricanes or emergencies. And then let's say you and I want to talk about something private off the grid. This has no cellular connection, no monthly bill. This is straight up using its own transmit and receive right from that antenna. You can be 100% anonymous with this, and no way to recover anything. I mean, this could also be used maliciously, to be honest with you, but so can anything. I don't think it. I don't know. It's a super cool device. I'll save my opinion, but the way to operate it is actually with that specific one. You need the Mesh-tastic app on your phone. You connect it via Bluetooth, and then that's just so you can send and receive messages. But there are certain ones you can buy that are pre-built that look like Blackberries. Actually, they have like little keyboards on them, and they connect in with the mesh, and then you send a message from the actual device itself and receive messages on the device itself. That is just a Bluetooth, like, so your phone's going to be your,
So the phone is the, okay.
Yeah, like
That's
I
what
can
you
actually
send
show
them.
you.
So the message goes from your phone to this through the mesh network.
I'll show you right now. It's so easy. So you got, can the camera see this? SRS mesh. You connect in, you're on there. This is going to tell you the nodes that are around you, which we're in a building that isn't going to have any nodes, but once we get outside, they would. Messages, channels, primary channel. And then you could just say, hey, I need help, for example. I'll just say, hey, so I don't scare anybody. And then now it's waiting to be acknowledged. What that means is it's waiting for somebody to acknowledge with their radio. It's going to acknowledge this message and relay it to as many people as possible, because this is a channel that everyone can see.
Holy shit.
And then there's I made you one called Secret Comms, which is built into this radio. It has its own private key. So if let's say I'm 100 miles away from you, I can send you a message, and it's going to use a bunch of other people's radios to get the message to you, but they're not going to see what I said. It's just going to use their radios to make it to you, hopping off of them.
Damn. How long does it take to get that message to somebody?
Milliseconds.
No shit.
Yeah, it's radio. It's a decentralized. It's a decentralized like cell phone networks. Just think of it in simple terms like that. That if the power grid went down, if the cellular grid went down, the batteries on them things last so long because they're low power and they're long range, and they're cheap too. I mean, like all in on that thing, like we're talking like $30.
Are you?
Yeah,
Wow.
and like just to have that in your backpack, just in case something ever happens, God forbid, it can't hurt to have it. It's not hard to use. Like I don't own. It's an open source project. I don't make any money telling anyone to buy them, but the more people that have them, the further the messages that can go.
That may not actually be a bad thing to have in case of emergencies. And if people around you have those things too, then you now, like they're saying, if China or somebody, especially with AI out here now, all these things do attack our technology, our infrastructure, our all this kind of stuff. The more people around us that have this, it won't be as catastrophic. We can still get a hold of people through texting. Wow. Yeah.
South Florida has a huge population of them. Missouri, huge population. California, huge. Like, there's a lot of places that already have a ton of these there. But the more people that have them, the further your message is going to go. So
Interesting.
kind of an interesting thing. I really liked it. There was a guy in Florida, because I was learning about it, trying to get my house set up. I have a little solar mount with a giant antenna coming off my roof. And I'm going way above and beyond for this. Like my HOA probably hates me. But this guy who has this large infrastructure in Florida, he calls it Tron. Like there's this, I could show you a screenshot, but he's got these giant cell towers all the way down the coast of Florida. And as long as you can get your message to a Tron, one of his locations, then it has enough transmit power to make it anywhere up and down the coast of Florida. So my goal was to get it to one of the Tron towers. So I finally go into their Discord, like their chat group, and I say hey, how do I, what kind of antenna should I buy? What kind of stuff should I get? I want to make it to Delray Tron. That was the Tron that I was trying to get to. And this guy, his name's Eric, reaches out to me. And he's giving me all this advice, and he said, I'll come out tomorrow morning at 6:30 to the intersection of where, he didn't know where I lived or anything, but I gave him a general idea. 6:30 in the morning, guy comes out, takes screenshots from his app, takes pictures on his phone, and he's showing me with a directional antenna. It's called a Yagi antenna. He's aiming it at the Delray Tron, southeast, I think it is. And you could see that it is reaching it. So he proved that with a directional antenna that it would work. And this is a guy I've never met before, somebody that's just if you know anything about the ham radio guys from back in the day, it's like a modern age ham radio group, but way more technologically advanced and that people are like younger. So this guy goes out of his way to help me out, which is like, I'm not used to people doing me favors like that. And to make things even crazier, the guy that came out for me is a guy that owns the Tron infrastructure for all of Florida. So I just had the first guy and he didn't know who I was or anything like that. He just came out of the kindness of his heart. He drove a half hour. I found out where he lived because I came to go pick up that equipment from him later in the day. And super grateful for that. But the guy hooked me up and spent time that he didn't need to spend. And I recommend, if you go out and buy one of these things.
I hope y'all know too, like this whole entire thing of what he's doing, it seems like it's explaining the devices he's using, the stuff to help us, setting a light, giving a light of the things that are going on a different level that we normal tech people, iPhones, Android, skim on Facebook daily. That's about it. Maybe watch some YouTube and do some, woodworking off of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or crafts off YouTube. Stuff we don't really know of. Like they're prevalent. He's showing this stuff, and that's how. He's giving a background of what he's doing, a little bit of who he is, and the system of what's going on that we're not really aware of, shedding light on it. And I do believe it's going to lead into the more stuff that I told you at the beginning, and what he said at the beginning, what this is really going to be about. Exposing a lot of the darkness that's going on with our children, with everybody's children, that the parents don't really know what's going on. And I've watched some like shorts and stuff. It gets really bad. You already saw that very first clip where he said where the father posted about his daughter, what he's going to do. And yeah, it gets even worse.
Make sure you Google like the state that you live in and join a community of some sort if you need help setting it up, because it's not hard or anything, but just to get advice from people that have already been doing it. Now, I already researched for around here. It's configured best for this location, but if you have any questions, obviously call me.
How do you turn it off?
It's you can hold both buttons, but it doesn't actually go off. It goes into like a sleep mode.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Damn, thank you, man.
No
I
problem.
wouldn't say I'm going to frame it, but
You should use that one. Keep that one.
I am.
And especially because of the way, without going into detail, you live high enough to reach far.
Right on.
Yeah.
What else do we got?
This one, and I'm trying to speed through because I don't want to make this too long.
Don't speed through it. This is good shit.
So this is called a screen crab. And a screen crab, if you notice here, it's got an HDMI on one side and an HDMI on this side. And basically this little antenna broadcasts a signal. So I could put this behind a computer monitor, put this behind a TV, and more importantly, a computer monitor. And then there's an SD card slot in here on this side right here that stores a ridiculous amount of footage, like way more footage than you would imagine because it compresses the video. And this will be in line, so you can spy on somebody's computer screen. And they, if you put IT use only, do not unplug, and put it on a Post-it note or something, stick this behind the computer. Who's gonna remove this?
Nobody.
Most people are just gonna ignore it. So I thought this was a cool little covert spy gadget that who's looking behind their monitor either. It's just a cool little gadget to have, especially when you're doing a physical pen test and you want to watch people go through their internal systems and see their internal communications. If you can get this thing in there, then you can stand outside their office and wirelessly watch it, or store it to the SD card and then watch it later. So
you can hook that up wirelessly.
Yeah, that's what this is. So I could take the footage that's stored on the SD card and download it wirelessly,
Gotcha.
or watch it wirelessly live.
Wow.
Yeah, I would have to be in range of it though.
Gotcha.
So that's the screen crab. And then this is called the land turtle. And the land turtle the way I have mine configured, at least, is the second I plug this into USB. So if I went into one of your offices and I plug this into one of their computers, it's going to immediately try to connect back to my server at my house and give me a connection like to this device. And then from this device, I can try to pivot from this device to your other devices on the network, because this is a mini computer inside of here. So it's, without going into, because it's nerdy stuff, without going into the details, I can use this device to pivot onto other devices, to other devices, to other ones, and then, I could be a million miles away from you and still have access to this because it's connecting directly back to me.
Shit.
Yeah, and Hack 5 makes, that's the name of the company. They gave me a bunch of cool stuff. That's where the guy you interviewed, Mike Grover,
Yeah.
he works with them with his OMG cable.
No kidding.
Yeah. And this, another guy gave as a gift, J-Lo Hacks, or J-Blow Hacks, he's got an interesting name. And another guy, J-Bo Hack, hold on, sorry, I got your name wrong, J-Bo. J-Bo Hacks and another guy created this, and ZR Kraken is their usernames. They created this thing called the Nyan Box, which is 3D printed, but it is very capable. It does a lot of what this device did, like the dual ESP, but the Nyan Box does Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and then it does jamming as well, which jamming is a federal crime.
Mm-hmm.
So, but people can still do it. Doesn't mean people aren't going to commit that federal crime. So you could jam, which I'll show you here. I can choose, give me a second here. I get into the actual jammers. Yeah, I have WLAN jammer, meaning I can jam Wi-Fi networks. You see that on the top there?
Yeah.
So I could jam your Wi-Fi network right now, and if any of these cameras are hooked up to Wi-Fi, it's going to knock them offline.
Wow.
Like not using that DOS attack I was talking about earlier, just broadcast, very similar to the Chinese, broadcasting the same frequency at such a high, I guess what's the better way to explain it? It's flooding the air with so much garbage on the same frequency that it doesn't know how to communicate anymore.
Yeah.
That's what jamming, that's how it works. And then there's all kinds of cool features that are, I'm skipping over, but there's actually one in here that has protocol kill. Here we go. Kill Wi-Fi, kill video cameras, like meaning wireless cameras, doorbells, kill RC, like drones, RC cars, anything that uses a remote controller, just kill that frequency. Bluetooth low energy, USB, wireless, like USB mice and keyboards. This is for, what does he have here? Zigbee, that's another protocol. And then NRF24, that's basically the same thing as what I was saying earlier with the keyboard and mice thing, but still it's all of these different things. I can choose which one. So let's say I do wireless camera, I click it, and then I can start that attack, and it will knock those cameras immediately offline. So that's one thing. And then the last thing I'll show you with this device is the sour apple attack. So you're on the brand new version of iPhone, right?
I'm a little bit behind here. They just came out with the new one.
Like you're at least above version 18.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to break your phone. All right, so I just enabled sour apple.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor and unlock your phone real quick. You can even put it in airplane mode. It's not going to change anything.
It's in airplane.
It already is?
Join this Apple TV.
Yep, here, keep hitting X. You're in airplane mode right now.
Connecting. I hit.
You're in airplane mode right now, so you shouldn't be getting any connections, right?
Apple TV keyboard, password auto.
Keep going.
Wireless audio sync.
Yeah, I just got a transfer phone number option. I just skipped it to you so you can see the screen.
Sign in.
It probably shows your iCloud ID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, little things that little OPSEC mistakes that Apple makes right there that I could have pop up on someone's screen.
Transfer phone number.
Yeah.
AirPods.
But, at that point...
Set up Apple Vision Pro.
But it makes it so your
Set up
phone's
your
unusable even if you're in airplane mode. And the only way to avoid that is to go into settings and disable Bluetooth. Not from the control center or in airplane mode. You got to go in your settings and turn Bluetooth off. I just assumed, and I think most people do, when you turn airplane mode off, your phone is turning all channels off, but it's not.
So this just disrupts just about anything that's wireless.
Well, that one, I did the attack towards the phone, but I do have some ways that I could do it with Windows computers or Android phones. I have different attacks, but yeah, it makes it, the older versions, it crashes the phone completely. The beta version of the newest version for iPhone, like iOS 26, it was crashing that too. But the newest version, it's not. It's just, it makes your phone unusable. Like with so many, you can't use it with that many notifications popping up.
I want one of these too.
Yeah, I can ask them to send you one.
Like,
They 3D printed it for me.
do you ever think about, when you're working with Sentinel Foundation in another country and you're going out, you're hunting predators? I mean, I'm just curious, do you ever run the jammer so that nobody can tap into your phones, nobody can listen in, nobody can do any of that while you're having like a face-to-face conversation? Let's say you guys are doing your brief.
So we use Faraday bags. So I haven't had, I've never had to do that with a jammer, but we do throw stuff in Faraday bags. And I mean, you see me, I'm nuts with it. I put my laptop in a Faraday bag. I have, that's actually something I'll bring up. I know I'll save the rest of it for the end, but we donated in collaboration with this company. We donated 130 something recently to law enforcement in Peru. And the reason why these bags are important for phones, if no one knows, a Faraday bag, if you're unfamiliar, for the people that are watching, it just blocks signal from going in and out. Mm-hmm. So when, let's say there's a predator or a trafficker and they get arrested and the phone gets seized, right? You put their phone just like this in the bag, and then now it is locked. This phone has zero signal right now. Wow. It's not getting in or out of the bag. Wow. So let's say you're law enforcement and you are trying to make sure that evidence stays intact. Wow. You now have the ability with Apple, with iCloud, with Android, you can wipe that phone remotely. So before they even get back to the station, somebody could wipe that phone and all your evidence is gone. Mm-hmm. But if you keep that phone in a Faraday bag, then your evidence stays preserved. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing Sentinel did recently was make sure that law enforcement was equipped with these bags because they're cheap and certain companies are more expensive. This one's a little more than others. They're just a nice brand, but there's other brands that are like $10 a bag, $20 a bag, mm-hmm. and that could be the difference between a guy doing no time in prison or the rest of his life. Yeah. So I think they're very important. Yeah, let's take a break.
My days don't slow down. Between work, the gym, and time with the kids, I need eyewear that can keep up with everything I've got going on. And that's why I trust Roka. I've tried plenty of shades before, but these stand out. They're built for performance without sacrificing style. I've put them through it all. On the range, out on the water, and off-road. They don't quit. They're lightweight, stay locked in place, and are tough enough to handle whatever I throw at them. And the best part? They don't just perform, they look incredible. Sleek, modern, and designed for people who expect more from their eyewear. No fluff, no gimmicks, just premium frames that deliver every single time. And that's why Roka is what I grab when I'm heading out the door. Born in Austin, Texas, they're American designed with zero shortcuts. Razor sharp optics, no glare, and all-day comfort that doesn't quit. And if you need prescription lenses, they've got you covered with both sunglasses and eyeglasses. One brand, all your bases. Roka isn't just eyewear, it's confidence you can wear every day. They're the real deal. Ready to upgrade your eyewear? Check them out for yourself at Roka.com and use code SRS for 20% off site-wide at checkout. That's ROKA.com. I would do anything to protect my family, but there's always that one worry in the back of my head. If I have to use my firearm in self-defense, who's got my back? The truth is, the justice system isn't always just. I've uncovered story after story of corruption. Good Americans who did the right thing, defended their families, and yet still had their lives turned upside down. And that's why I joined USCCA, the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. They've helped thousands of responsible gun owners with legal preparedness, training, and support before and after a self-defense incident. If you've watched my channel long enough, you know I've always said preparedness is more than just training and gear. It's a mindset. And because crime is on the rise in America, which we can all see, you'll need more than just a gun to protect yourself. You'll need a plan. Go to uscca.com/SRS right now to learn more. That's uscca.com/SRS and see how a membership can give you and your family that peace of mind you've been looking for before, during, and after a self-defense situation. Once again, that's uscca.com/SRS. Do it. All right, Ryan, we're back from the break.
All right, so I'm going to get off here. This is going to be a part 2 to this. So let me take a screenshot exactly where we're at. An hour, 26 minutes. And yeah, we're going to get to bed. But tomorrow, Lord willing, we'll be continuing this. Yeah, and there's some interesting stuff already. And yeah, we'll just see you tomorrow. God bless y'all. And may the Lord continue to look over us and help these children. God bless.